Good morning. Today we are continuing on with, instead of doing order of operations today we are talking about our exponents and square roots. So that one section of the order of operations, exponents and radicals, square roots which are considered radicals. So simplifying expressions by squaring and using square roots. Time to dissect formulas, specifically the E and the R. Complete the tables below to help you remember perfect squares. So, we're going to start with 1 squared. What is 1 squared? Laura? 1. 2 squared. You can just say it out loud for me.
4.
4. 3 squared.
9.
4 squared.
16.
5 squared.
25.
6 squared.
36.
7 squared.
49.
8 squared.
64.
9 squared.
80.
10 squared.
100.
11 squared.
121.
12 squared. Nice. 13 squared. 169. 14 squared. 196. 15 squared is 225, and 16 squared is 256. Remembering that squaring is not timesing the number by 2. It's timesing the number by itself. So we see the 7 squared is 7 times 7. I see that 7 on there 2 times for multiplying. So squared means I multiply it 2 times. So if it was 7 squared, that's 7 times 7. 7 cubed would be 7 times 7 times 7. Okay, whatever that exponent is, it tells us how many times we're multiplying that base number. So we don't ever multiply it by the exponent. That's how many times we're multiplying our base number. On this objective, we're just working with the squares, but I do need us to understand how those exponents work. All right, so that's our exponents. Now we're going to look at the opposite, the square root. So if we have the square root of 1, that would be 1 times 1 equals 1. So the square root of 1 is 1. Then we have, I'm taking what all of these squares were and I'm going to put them in the square root. So what would the square root of 4 be? 2, because 2 times 2 equals 4. So then we have the square root of 9 is 3. That's 3 times 3 is 9. Square root of 16 is 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 81 is 9. Square root of 100 is 10. Square root of 121 is 11. Square root of 144 is 12. Square root of 169 is 13. Square root of 196, 14. That's a goofy sign. Square root of 225 is 15, and the square root of 256 is 16. See how they are opposites? They work together. You got the squaring, and you got the square root. They're all working together. when we are making our help sheet for our tests that we will be doing next week, you're gonna wanna put these tables on there. You might think to yourself, yep, I know it, I got it, I don't need that. Sometimes when we go quickly on tests, we make simple math mistakes. So it's always good to be able to check, especially with those bigger numbers that nobody knew. 15 squared is 225. Okay, if you have to tell me the square root of 225, it'll help if it's on your help sheet. So remember not to multiply the exponent by the base. 3 squared is not 6. We do not say 3 times 2. That is a very, very common mistake people make. When taking the square root, don't just divide by 2. The square root of 16 is not 8. It's not 16 divided by 2. You have to think to yourself, what number do I multiply by itself to get that? When you make either of these serious mathematical errors, you bring Mr. Schultz one day closer to retirement, and you all want to have him next year in algebra. He's a fun teacher. Don't bring him closer to retirement. Silly Mr. Schultz. All right, we are going to use these tables above and the order of operations to evaluate the following expressions. Now, the first row is going to be easy. It's just straight up 8 squared. Look at your table. Write down what 8 squared is. The square root of 49. Look up at the table, write down what the square root is. So that top row is easy, right? You're just looking at the table. This row is where it gets more confusing. Remember the order of operations. Formed us, we have exponents and radicals come before multiplying and dividing, before we add or subtract. So if I look at 7 squared minus the square root of 16, what's the first thing I'm going to do? Finley.
7 squared.
Yeah, because I'm going to read left to right. I come to 7 squared first. 7 squared is 49. Minus the square root of 16. What do I do next? Elliot? Find the square root of 16. So the square root of 16 is 4. 49 minus 4 is 45. Now when you come to something like this, where it's a fraction, you find your square roots first, then that, what operation is that fraction bar? What is the operation, Victoria? Division, right? So we don't worry about the fraction yet, we're worrying about the square root. So you find the square root of the numerator, the square root of the denominator, and then you can divide down, or you can look to see, can I simplify my fraction? So what is the square root of 36? 6. What is the square root of 121? Can I divide it down any? No, I can't simplify it. So that would be my final answer. And on the bottom it says, using an exponent in one expression and a radical in another expression, you're going to create 2 different expressions that each equal the page number. What is your page number? Because it's a different binder than I have. It's the same one. So 23. So you need to write one expression that uses an exponent. You're going to have to use other operations also. But your final answer is going to be 23, and you must have an exponent in it. Then you're going to write another expression that uses the square root, and adding or subtracting, multiplying or dividing, you're going to equal 23. So 2 different expressions. Hunter? Yes. Any questions on this page? Okay. keep in mind that when you're done with the work for today, we have Khan Academy due tonight. So everybody's responsibility, make sure that your con is done and that you're getting the credit for it. Okay? Packet number 2, work on that. I still have quite a few of us that have practice works to do for tomorrow's retake day. Remember, tomorrow is an in-class retake day. Make sure you're getting your practice work done and turned in before then, so we can get those retakes done in class. I checked in with people on Monday about who needed to do those retakes, because we didn't do them in class on Friday. So get your practice work done, get them turned in. If you're all caught up with your con, with your packet number 2, with all of your practice works, then we have memorizing the mysteries of the rosary. So we have lots to work on in class today. So let's get it all done. This is quiet work time now. Quiet work time. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.